Greetings, ladies and gentlefish, and welcome back to the Armoured Warfare test. This is the early access test number 4. The devs have made a few changes since the last test. One of them, for example, I'm not going to go through all the changes, but they've made the servers are now up permanently. They increased the rewards from the PvE stuff, which is great because it really needed to happen. They have rebalanced a couple of tanks. The Scorpion, for example, in my opinion, has been horrifically butchered, but there we go, c'est la vie. They introduced some of the, if we go back and look at the dealers, they've introduced some of the previously premium tanks into the regular tech tree. The Starship, for example, you'll might remember from my previous World of Warships video, this was a premium main battle tank. It is now in the regular tech tree. They've rejigged both of the available dealer tech trees, and as a result, they gave us everyone who was involved in the test. They basically resetted our experience and let us re-put our experience where we saw fit. Which means that I now have a tank destroyer unlocked. So that's what I'm going to be showing you some gameplay in a short while. What else have they done? The other two things that spring to mind are they've introduced retrofit system. Basically, this is like equipment slots in World of Tanks, but you each of these slots has a different. So, for example, each of these retrofit slots has a different category. So you have armor, firepower, mobility, technology down here, for instance, and a generic slot. So you can see here, this is a universal retrofit slot. This is a technology retrofit slot. You can only put technology in technology retrofit slots, mobility in mobility retrofit slots, firepower in firepower, armor in armor, etc., etc. However, you can unlock various retrofits from playing other vehicles. So, for example, it would be the equivalent of playing World of Tanks and only being able to use a gun rammer if you had previously unlocked it on a previous tank. And then often those retrofits that have been unlocked from previous vehicles can go in the universal slot. So it's quite a nice system, I think, actually. I haven't really taken advantage of it yet, but I think it's a kind of neat idea. The other thing they've done, they've made a change to artillery. Well, I say a change. They've introduced illumination and smoke rounds, basically. Illumination lights up a certain area for a certain period of time. Smoke rounds does the opposite. Does exactly what you expect it to do. So they've turned artillery into more of a well-rounded support class. They can still do damage, but that's not the only thing they can do. They are also there to conceal your movements, to light up the enemy. And this also gives a good bit of motivation to artillery drivers to move away from the spawn point very quickly, because otherwise an enemy artillery driver could just load up an illumination round, fire it off at the beginning of the match at the enemy spawn, and light up all the enemy artillery, which would be bad from the enemy artillery's perspective. So yeah. So there's been a bunch of different changes. They've also kind of smoothed out some of the interfaces, prettied it up, things like that. Opened up some more maps, you know, what you would expect. Anyway, what I wanted to show you in this video was some tank destroyer gameplay, because I haven't shown you any TD gameplay yet. So I'm going to show you a game or two from the LAV 300. Now, all of this should come with the big caveat. Firstly, this is still an early access test. Things are subject to change. Secondly, judging exactly how the game will play out from what you see me do, I mean, bearing in mind the LAV 300 is at tier 4, would be a bit like jumping into a tier 3 or 4 match in World of Tanks and using that to extrapolate what a tier 9 or 10 game's like. So, you know, bear that in mind in your heads. This does not necessarily represent higher tier gameplay. This is just take it for what it is, basically. But I would like to show you it anyway. So, tank destroyers. If we have a look at the details of this thing, it's a tank destroyer, and that means you get 2 class bonuses. If you haven't watched some of my previous videos on this game, it introduces, each class basically gets a different set of abilities and bonuses to work with. So, in the case of tank destroyers, you get 2 of them. Firstly, movement does not reduce your camouflage factor, so you can move around and be stealthy. And secondly, you get a damage bonus while at optimal accuracy. What does optimal accuracy mean? Well, it means when you're fully zoomed in on the target, basically. So this is encouraging you to skirt around at the back, play a support role, shoot people from a distance, aim fully. But you'll notice that first ability there. Whoops, I did not mean to favourite that. I meant to come up with details. Movement does not reduce your camouflage factor. It encourages you to move. And as far as I can work out, the whole thing behind the tank destroyers in this game is that they are not fixed casement machines that sit somewhere and camp all game, like they often are, or like they're often played in World of Tanks. They're highly mobile machines with punchy guns, but you benefit from putting those guns into the flanks. I mean, it's... For example, this. You can see it's a lightweight vehicle. It mounts a fairly respectable 90mm gun, but that gun is not on par with the 105 and 120mm guns that are being used on main battle tanks of the same tier. So you do still need to be a little bit careful, and you do still probably want to get people's sides and rear where possible, and aim for weak spots and things like that. It's kind of a bit like playing a Hellcat. A bit like playing one of the turreted tank destroyers in World of Tanks, in a way. Yeah. Anyway, without further ado, let's jump into some gameplay and see how it goes. Of course, standard caveats apply. I have no idea how long the queue waiting time is going to be, by the way. Standard caveats apply. I am not a particularly good Armoured Warfare player. Certainly not at the moment. I don't know the maps that well. I haven't played all that many battles in the game. So don't infer exactly how good or not things are from what I'm doing or not doing. You are better off... Sorry. It's more trying to show you what the tank's like rather than what I, as a player, am like. So you can see that we have a tier 5 game here. So tier 4 tank, tier 5 game. Yeah, we can work with that. And, okay, it's this map. Alright. So, hopefully I'm going to try and do some damage. We shall see, though. So I've got 1,000 health. So I'm aiming to do, personally, well, a bare minimum of something I would consider vaguely acceptable, as if I managed to do my own hit points in damage. Ideally, because I'm a tank destroyer and I'm designed to shoot things, I'd like to do more than that. So I would be disappointed with anything less than about 1,000 to 1,500 damage. Obviously more than that, grand, but I'd be disappointed with much less than that. Whoa, lag. And that's one of the reasons that I haven't played this game more. There seems to be a lot of latency on the servers, or I have certainly experienced my fair share of latency on the servers. Oh, sorry dude. That's my crappy driving. I do apologise. Yeah, you can look at me by all means. Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. So far, I mean, it's not as bad as it has been in the past, but on some maps in particular, your frame rate just completely dies. And that's a shame. So let's let this chieftain go first. The other LAV 300 is going off at a rate of knots. Oh, I can't drive up there. And of course this is a wheeled machine, so that's something else you don't get in World of Tanks. You don't get wheeled vehicles. I don't really know why they don't want to do wheeled vehicles, but whatever, I guess. That's up to them. No gun depression on this tank though, which is kinda disappointing. But there we go. Nope, no shot on him. And you might whinge and say I'm playing very passively or whatever, but like I said, I don't really know things that well, and this tank does not perform well in a close range firefight. So there you can see it said hit sniper bonus. So there's that damage bonus you get for hitting someone when you're, fully aimed in and whatnot, that I mentioned earlier on. He's behind a little rise. Ooh, someone's able to get shots at these guys from the middle by the look of it. So let's just move up a little bit. Oh wow. What does the fox say? I'm gonna eat all of your artillery. Okay, there's an incoming fox going through our spawn point, so I'm going to see if I can go and do something about him. And see if I can protect our Vosteka artillery piece. We only have the one artillery, so it'd be worth keeping him in the game. If we possibly can. Looks like there's also an M60 pattern turning around to have a little look in his general direction. Fox is very, very fast. A little armoured car, basically. Well, it's like a go-kart with a machine gun. It's ridiculous. If any of you have seen the video that Jingles did, where he was in the Fox and having a lot of fun, yeah, that's the little badger. We just lost another one. No! Okay, I think there's plenty of people going to deal with that Fox. I don't think my presence is necessary. So, let's move forward and try and support these guys again. There's the LAV 300. He's dead. There's another LAV 300. He's dead. Not sure if I got a hit or not. Didn't look like it. And there's now an OF-40 who looks like he might be pushing through past the city, which would be a little bit of a nuisance. There's that Fox. He's still alive. Well played to the guy. 5-7. Oh dear, this is not looking particularly good. Oh, T-64. Okay. Don't have the gun depression to shoot him, which is frustrating, and I get spotted, and no, let's not be there because that hurt. Incoming missiles. That's a swing fire. That one missed. It's probably a swing fire. The problem with swing fires now, they change them so that swing fires fire two missiles, which is sad. No penetration. Hurrah! I thought I was shooting down onto his plate, so I thought that would do wonders for the angle there and get me a penetration. There we go. Let's not hang around there too much. Hopefully this guy will shoot someone. Yes, he will shoot me. Oh, he appears to have a friend over there too. I just don't have the gun depression to do this, so let's not do this. This tank really suffers on the gun depression department, which is frustrating. Missile! Oh god, no! Swing fires really are a little pain now. When I first played the Early Access 4, I was taken completely by surprise by the fact that swing fires now fire salvos of 2 missiles. That was really... oh my god, sad. That one bounced. Of course it does, because if you don't aim at those main battle tanks... oh god. Ow. If you don't aim at those main battle tanks, they're gonna bounce you, basically. That's the problem. So our other flank has collapsed. It's now just me and the other LAV and a Vosteka, which is sad. I'm probably a one-shot for this T-64, and that just went into his tracks. Things like track hits and whatnot with this game, to me, seem to be a lot more common than they are in World of Tanks. So if you hate the you know, when you hit someone, it looks like a good hit, but it just does track damage and doesn't do any actual damage. If you hate those... oh, wow. Well, artillery is still scumbags. So that you change the game, you don't change the people playing. If you don't like the critical hits that deprive you of damage, you know, the 0 damage critical hits, then this game will get on your nerves. I appreciate that that was not the... so I'm just having a drink because I've been recording a few videos on the trot and my throat's a bit there. If you... what was I saying? Something. Yeah, I mean, that shot on the T-64, it looked to me like a relatively flush shot into his side. I thought it was worth taking. Didn't do any damage. Now, obviously, I didn't even manage to do my own hit points in damage, which is really cruddy. Although I still managed 916 damage, apparently. And if we look at the team, 960 put me about the middle, which is kind of depressing. The highest damage count on our team was 1749 from a T64. The enemy chieftain did 4,000. The enemy fox, that little fox, did 2,000. I mean, yeah, we just got completely mullered. The post-battle results are now incredibly detailed. There's lots of stuff in here that I'm probably not going to pay too much attention to. Let's try that again, because no, this is a better tank than that. Or better machine than that. If this doesn't work either, then it doesn't work. I've had a couple of naff games. It happens. I'm not gonna hand pick these games for you. But hopefully you got to see there the sniper bonus, the fact that you're fairly stealthy, and the fact that this tank certainly, I don't know if this is going to be indicative of tank destroyers in general, but this machine gets absolutely no gun depression, which is really annoying. But there we go. C'est la vie. Oh, and we'll just wait for the matchmaker to find us a game. Yeah, so this is the sort of matchmaking I've experienced a lot. Because a lot of people have pushed up to higher tiers than tier 4, it means that you're basically getting the worst matchmaking that you can while on the test, so that's another thing you need to bear in mind. Like I said, there are a few reasons why I haven't played the early access tests of this game as much as some other people. One of them is the fact that, as I mentioned, that the frame rate and the latency is just so unreliable. It's not as bad as it was, and you know, this is still an early access game, but that has really limited how much I want to do it. Whereas I could just go and play World of Warships where it doesn't matter. Anyway, this is a map that, to me, seems relatively new. I've played it once or twice, but I don't remember playing it before Early Access 4, and I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing on it. So don't expect miracles. Oh, that's the map edge. Whoopsie-daisy! See? I really don't know what I'm doing on it. Whee! But hopefully I can show you a bit more TD gameplay-ish. You also take loads of damage for the smallest of contact with your allies. I'm small and pathetic. I am going to go over here because I think I might have more opportunities for long-range shots, I guess. On the bad guys. They also introduced a few more tanks. So, for example, as well as, you know, there was the M60 pattern at tier 3. I think it's tier 3. There's now also the M48 pattern at tier 2 main battle tank. So that's in World of Tanks. That's the tier 10 American medium tank. And they've introduced some others, like the T54, I think, is now at tier 2 for, what's his name? The dealer who isn't Wolfie. I can't remember his name off the top of my head now. No, there doesn't really seem to be any shot on that LAV. M60. I don't think I'm going to have a shot on him either. What about this M60? Is there a bit where he comes out from behind that building and I can nail him in the side? Or is he behind a hill? Oh no, there he is. That was nowhere near enough lead. That was just a terrible shot on my part. There we go. Hit. Sniper bonus. I'm not spotted. No penetration. He's just blind firing me. Oh, now I'm spotted. Oh, because of that BMD. And I'm going to take fire. This gun is... Sorry, Mr. Starship. This gun is not the most accurate. And because it's a wheeled vehicle, you tend to go kind of a bit all over the place compared to a tracked vehicle. I was say compared to World of Tanks. The game's irrelevant. It's the fact that it's wheeled rather than tracked. And so it can be awkward to actually drive that cheeky little BMD. VBL's going to deal with him. So No penetration on the side of that M60's turret. M60 turret side seems to be fairly hardy. Yeah. Alright, let's go for the side of the hull, see if I can clip him at the back there. Nope, hits the turret. This gun is not particularly accurate, and someone else nukes him. Allied base is being captured. Was our VB whatever going to deal with him? I think so. And oh my god, there's an MBT. Okay. BMD is down. Oh, these neutral bases. I've lost track. Oh, I'm spotted. Great. I've lost track of what it is we're actually doing, to be honest. What mission this was. Should have paid more attention. Yeah, I'm spotted. Yeah. Was there really stuff in the way? Oh, for goodness sake. There we go. Incoming artillery. No! Ah. Put a shot into that M109. One into that, whatever that is. I don't even... Something Panzer. Don't actually know what that is. Ba-dum-bum-bum. Nope, still don't have any shots on that artillery piece. There must be something... Oh, that's the other artillery piece. There must be something in between us. So, see if we can get shots on these fellas. T-64. Ooh. Oh, for goodness sake, this gun is very frustrating. It seems it doesn't matter what the game, I have a dislike of American 90mm guns. This is another American 90mm gun, and it's another very unreliable weapon in my experience and opinion. Yeah, I took that because I wasn't fully aimed, but yeah, I thought I'd better take something. There we go! I picked up a kill on the T-64! Hurrah! We did something! Hopefully we did some damage, and hopefully it wasn't a complete and utter disaster. Well, it wasn't a complete and utter disaster, we won, but our impact on the game wasn't as large as I would have hoped. But, doesn't look like I managed to achieve, really, my damage total. Well, maybe I did in this game, I don't know. We'll see, I guess. I mean, I guess we were bottom tier. 1,458 damage. And 388 spotting damage. And as I say, we were bottom tier. So that was a tier 6 game, I think. Yeah, tier 6. Well done to that M60. Good. Holy cow, mate. Nice. Yeah. We finished middle of the table. Managed to put in a few more shots. The matchmaking was worse that time round. So yeah, nothing particularly special. But hopefully you got to see... I mean, those two have actually been two of the least impressive games I've had in this machine. I've had much better games in this tank, but apparently not that I'm going to be able to show you. Nah, c'est la vie. What are you going to do? The wonders of recording things live. So yeah, hopefully you got an idea of what tank destroyers are likely to perform like in this game. They're not your sit-at-the-back, campy style of TD. They're much more like a turreted tank destroyer that you get in World of Tanks. You're not supposed to get into a close-range engagement, but you can stay on the move, relocate, and whatnot. Really, you have to keep relocating. So yes, there we go. There's a bit of footage of tank destroyers and a little bit of info about the Armoured Warfare Early Access Test 4. Now, the game, as far as I'm aware, the game is due to go into open access in the not-too-distant future, so I'm not sure if this is the final or the penultimate early access test or something like that. I can't imagine there's going to be that many more tests before it goes live, and you guys can play if you so wish. So, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that video, that little look at Armoured Warfare. If you did, please feel free to catch some of my other videos and or subscribe to my channel, and I wish you very happy hunting on that battlefield. Ciao, ciao.